Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. Today I wanted to share with you some things you could do to increase your circulation. You know, as we get older, of course, our circulation slows down, and then that causes a lot of problems for us. I prepared this long, detailed video where I sat down and had nice lighting, and when I looked at it, I didn't like it. I felt like I was trying to be Andrew Huberman or some other scientist. I'm not. And I just said, you know what, I'm going to grab my phone and just talk to people and let them know the things that I do. And then maybe they can incorporate that into their own life and increase their circulation. So I created this super circulation cycle, I like to call it. And it starts with that tub behind me, the ice bath. The science behind cold water immersion is outrageously amazing. Like, it's crazy. If you have inflammation, it's a game changer. If you have depression, it could even help with that from the dopamine release. There's so many reasons. You could talk 10 minutes on all the different benefits that you get from cold water immersion, and there's lots of information you can find online. I'm going to tell you why I choose to get into cold water. When I say cold water, anywhere from 37 to 43 degrees. I'd say 40 is probably a good sweet spot for me because you want it to be uncomfortable, and then you want to sit in there anywhere from 3 to sometimes 8 minutes, just depends. I stay in there until I'm uncomfortable because that's really the idea behind it. You want to challenge yourself. The main reason I do it is this. I caught a study from a long time ago in the 1990s that talked about men in Japan who were jumping in ice water and then training after, and it increased their testosterone levels. And I was like, wow, that's really interesting. And then I found more studies that were related to that, which showed that like you could actually, like I said, jump in some ice water and train right after, and then it actually had an effect upon your testosterone. So that caught my attention. And that's one of the reasons why I do it, because I'm always looking for ways to boost my testosterone. And then secondly, I realized that it really comes down to circulation, because when you get into that thing back there, it's cold and all your blood starts to go to your core to help save you and protect you, right? So all your blood leaves your hands and your feet, they turn white, and it's a little painful. But like I said, it goes to your core. So once I get out of the ice bath and then the blood starts to come back into my hands and feet, I go on to the next step of my super circulation cycle, and that involves katsu. All right, this is the katsu, and this is the compressor, which sends air down these tubules to these bands, and the air inflates the bands, and then that causes blood flow restriction. There's two sets of bands. One is for the arms, the smaller one, of course, and then the larger one is for your legs. And with the katsu, you just pick the program you want. This is a cycle program. And then this goes to arms or legs, and we're going to choose arms for illustration. And then you can choose the level you want of how much air you want pumped into the bands, and you can go custom if you want to. But anyhow, it's a very simple compressor that allows you to create blood flow restriction. Maybe the best way to explain how katsu works is if you think of your muscles and you have a stem cell in your muscle. Your stem cell is fed by a bunch of microcirculation, right? These little capillary networks. And that's why when we're younger, like, we get such an awesome response when we train. We get a massive pump. All these chemicals are running through our body because of our circulation. As we get older and we don't run around as much or do the things we used to, that circulation network pulls back. And then we have a blunted response because it starts to atrophy, right? What katsu does is it creates a pressure that pushes your body for that circulation to sprout back out, and over time feed that stem cell again, and then you get a much better response. Now, the great thing about katsu is that you don't have to lift really heavy weight. In fact, the way it works, it allows you to train with much lighter weight, but still get the benefits of high intensity training. And that is like incredibly helpful, especially as you get older. You don't even have to train with high intensity weights. All you have to do is put these on and walk around, and you're still going to get a lot of benefits. So I can't tell you how incredible katsu is, but if you get a moment, look up katsu and you'll see the benefits. A lot of Olympic athletes are using katsu right now in their training because it works. I think it could be one of the most important and best investments you could make. And in fact, I would say that I think like the system I showed you cost about $1,000 bucks. But if you went on Marketplace or eBay. You could probably get it for half the price. It's really something that is simple and easy to use. You could literally walk around, sweep your floor, vacuum your house, and have these bands on, and you would get tremendous benefit. So when you get a moment, check that out. Okay, once you got the Akatsu on, the next phase is to train. Exercise has so many benefits, I don't even know where to begin. But in regards to circulation, if you have healthy blood, you will circulate healthy blood all throughout your body. It will feed it, it will detoxify it, and you will become healthier. So the main thing is you gotta move. I think training makes the most sense because muscle seems to be incredibly necessary and incredibly critical as we get older. Older people get what they call sarcopenia, and they lose their muscle mass, and it's one of the biggest factors into how and why their health deteriorates. Muscle is more like an organ. Whenever you contract it, it secretes things like testosterone and growth hormone. You've got to exercise if you want to improve circulation. And when you use Akatsu on top of training, you're going to amplify your ability to create a network of capillaries and a micro circulation network that's only going to bring you health and wellness. I love to train outside because you get fresh air. The oxygen in this gym is better than anything you'll find anywhere else, as well as light from the sun, which has so many benefits, and that's a whole other video to do. And if you're smart, you'll ditch the rubber soles and you'll wear something like 100% cotton socks because you'll absorb that electrical charge from the earth. Like I said, just use a lighter weight. You gotta watch out for the cables. You can get ones that don't have cables, but then you're gonna have a lot of EMF around you. That's unnecessary. So I would suggest getting the cables. All right, let's do a quick recap. The first thing we did was we jumped into a ice bath, and that pushed all the blood to our core. The next thing we did was we jumped out, the blood started to come back into our hands and feet. We're going to now train, and that's going to circulate, and then the Akatsu is going to go a step further and help us create more of a microcirculation throughout our entire body. And then the next thing we're going to do is now jump into a sauna, which is going to push the blood to the surface of our skin. It's this in and out motion that you're never going to get anywhere else doing this kind of cycle. It's crazy. Because when you get into a hot sauna at 185 and 195 degrees, it's going to make your body kind of freak out a little. And then you're going to force your body to drive the blood to the surface of your skin to try and cool it off. All right, there are two more things worth mentioning that I do to help increase circulation. I take 500 milligrams of niacin every day. This causes what is referred to as a niacin flush. It causes your blood vessels and your capillaries to open up, especially near the skin. And this obviously increases blood flow, and it's also linked to producing some sex hormones, which is always a good thing, right? I ain't gonna lie, the niacin flush is somewhat uncomfortable. It makes your skin look like it's sunburned, and it gives you an itchy feeling all over your body. Like I know you're like, okay, sign me up, right? You get used to it, it lasts about an hour, and in my opinion, it's well worth it. So the next thing is cayenne pepper. If you research cayenne, you will be blown away. In my opinion, it is the holy grail of spices, and it does so many beneficial things in the body. Now, in regards to circulation, it's awesome. It's a blood mover. Anything that brings blood to the surface of your skin and makes your face red, like exercise, niacin, cayenne pepper, it's bringing blood to your face and it's helping your skin get healthier by feeding it. If you create healthy blood through good nutrition, then that will be better than any expensive potion, lotion, or pill you can buy. Honestly, don't know of any other system that does so much for improving blood circulation and creating optimal hormonal health in such a short amount of time.